Thank you again. And thank you for coming, even though your morning was crazy, crazy. We appreciate your dedication and professionalism. Thank you. Yeah. So let's take a deep breath. And I again want you to think about the word that chose you for 2023 and hold that in your hearts, in your minds. And I want you to see it again as an energy, not just a word, not just something that has a definition, but as something that really is an expression of you, and that's what our work is this year, is to turn a word into an energy and an expression of us. And as you think of that word and that expression and that energy, in whatever way you need to think of that as you. Maybe as you're thinking of it, you say to yourself, I am, whatever that expression is, that word, that energy. And get used to hearing yourself saying that and expressing it and embodying that. Get used to there being no separation between you and the word, the energy, the power. And again, as Pete read to us, this is not the I, the me, that is the personality you, but the I, the me, that is the divinity, the God in you, the God as you, in expression. And just like Yoda said, feel that. What does that word, that expression, what does that energy feel like as you? So let's take a deep breath and just breathe into that. And be curious about it if you're struggling with it. If you're not sure what any of this means, just breathe with it and be curious. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So this journey this year is really about embodying something. The force, as Yoda calls it. And I love Yoda's expression of what the force is, that it binds everything together, makes it grow, gives it life. And that same word, that expression that has chosen you for 2023, we're going to work on feeling that, knowing that this expression, this energy is going to grow in you, as just one of the principles that is God, and that is God in you as you. I had no idea what any of that meant 10, 20, 30 years ago. In fact, I didn't even talk about God as that. And so if this is a what the heck is going on moment for you, that's okay. That's okay. It is a change in paradigm to think of these powers as ourself, not just as something we have, but as something that we are. Not as something that is out there that only God is, but that you are. And so I've been kind of experimenting with my word, which is imagination. And trying to figure out, remaining curious about what this might be as a journey for me. What does imagination feel like as a principle that expresses as me? So actually the word is in my mind most of the time. As I'm going through my day, the word kind of pops up. How could I express imagination in this moment? What does imagination feel like? And what could that mean to me as an expression of my divine self? And I don't have a lot of it figured out, but I'm starting to have some feelings, some experiences with the word itself, and starting to feel it in my body, in my bones, and that it is me and not something separate from me, not an idea, but something that is me. And so something actually kind of weird and woo-woo happened. I love the word woo-woo. Where you're kind of like, ooh, this is kind of weird. Like, what's all this about? This never happened before. So I actually have this, I was immersed in a practice called Dawn Yoga a number of years ago. Now I've started practicing it again. And one of the tools that we have, it's called a wooden pillow. And it is wood. And it's a cylinder, half cylinder, and you can put it under your neck, lay on the floor, put it under your neck, and you roll your head from side to side, and it relaxes the neck. It's kind of like using a foam roller, if anyone's ever heard of a foam roller, and working with that. And so you use it for different parts of your body, and you just kind of roll back and forth, and it relaxes your muscles and gets the kinks out. And helps you to stretch and be more flexible. And so I lined it up on the floor so that it was here, straight along my spine. And I laid down on it, and it allows your shoulders to relax back and those muscles to lengthen again. Because if you're sitting at a desk at a computer, we're doing this all day. And I have a habit of doing that, and at some point during the day, my shoulders are up here. I can feel the tension. And so for me, being able to lay across that wooden pillow, that really relaxes me. And in the first 30 seconds, I'm kind of saying, I want to get up off of this thing because it hurts. Because my muscles don't really want to relax. They've been doing this all day. And then I just let myself lay there, and I can feel the muscles start to relax around it. My shoulders fall, my hips relax, I feel my muscles in my back relax. And so I had my arms down by my side, and then I picked them up, and I had them here, shoulder height on the floor. So I was kind of in a cross. And something happened when I ended up in that position with my arms out, and I felt like I was on a cross. Now the cross for me I have an affinity for the cross. For me, it means a crossroads. And for me, it symbolizes that point of surrender. A point of surrender. Just like Jesus surrendered when he was on the cross. And when he was in Gethsemane and he knew what was coming. And so I always hold that, even though some people don't like that symbolism, for me, it just means surrender. That I give myself fully, and I let go of all that is that me, that is the personality. And I am embracing now the I of me that is my divinity. And so that woo-woo thing started to happen when I'm laying on the floor like this. And I felt an energy throughout my body there. And because my muscles were still kind of straining against that wood, probably no coincidence, that I let myself just surrender to the discomfort I had, and I let myself surrender to that energy that was moving through me. I just let myself be in it for that moment. And so then, I wasn't thinking of imagination as the word. I actually was in that feeling, that experience for me was an experience of my divinity. So the discomfort was still there. And I did have some mental discomfort with laying there and thinking, oh, okay, I'm having this woo-woo experience. And, I don't know, this is kind of weird. This has never happened. But letting myself be in it. And I think that's what this journey this year for each of us is. A lot of it's going to be uncomfortable if you're really giving yourself to it. And I want you to be open and curious. I haven't used that wooden pillow in a long time. And when I lay down on it, I know why. Because I'm like, oh, this hurts. And after a while, it doesn't, because you do start to release and let go. And let yourself be one with the pillow. And just let my muscles fold around it and let go. And so I did it again this morning, and that feeling came up again of being in this position, completely surrendered, still knowing that there was something in my head that thought this was all kind of weird, endeavoring not to judge it, even though I'm saying, oh, this is weird and new, okay. Even the third time around, it's weird and new. And that's okay. Because I think this is about continuing to give ourselves to an experience. And letting Spirit, the universe, the all good, bring that expression of that word that chose you to you in a way that probably nothing else has ever come to you. And I think how perfect that for years now I've had this affinity for the cross and not had this experience. But I'm having it now because I've said yes to a journey with this word. And then it feels even more woo-woo. And you start to hear that Twilight Zone music playing in the room. And then I just get a kind of flush. Because then I have a realization that there is something that has been at work in my life all along, bringing me to that moment. Bringing me to that realization, bringing me to that experience. Because if I had not had an affinity for the cross, this would have meant nothing. And so it's many years to come to the experience. So I'm letting go now of the weirdness of it and embracing, loving the feeling of being here at the point of surrender. And surrendering completely to my divinity as an experience of God. As an experience of God. And so I believe that the all-good spirit, the universe, is going to approach each of you in a way that means something to you, to help you have an experience of the word, the principle, the energy that has chosen you this year. And that once you start embracing that and staying curious about it, that's something that is only meaningful to you and your heart, a light's going to go on and you'll say, that's what this is for. And I'm not just thinking about God. I'm not just praying to God. I'm not just affirming God. I am experiencing God as this. It is weird, and it's different. Not everybody approaches God or spirituality like this, and yet I think we're always called forward to something new. If we want it. If we want it. And if we can make space in our heads and our hearts to believe it. And I love that last line in that video clip where Luke says, I don't believe it. And Yoda just simply says, that's why you fail. That's why you fail. It's a simple matter of belief. I do happen to believe that there is an experience of God everywhere, and we can have a unique experience of God that nobody else will experience because God always finds us. We find the God in us uniquely as the expression that we are. Sal might experience it through music. Or not, I don't know. It depends. Or losing their dog and finding her again. Yes, you may experience it through Maddie. You may experience it through art, Judy. Yeah. Or not. Maybe something new is approaching you. Or some part of yourself that you have either forgotten about or neglected or don't want to see or embrace. And the all good is going to wrap it up in something that causes you to have an aha moment. So if you do nothing else, at the beginning of this experience of this year, with our experience with these words, and I'm going to keep using that word experience, I just want you to be curious about what could happen and stay open to an experience of God in a new way, an experience of yourself in a new way. Because that experience of yourself enables you to be the master like Yoda. To be curious about what can happen. Be curious about your power. And what is possible for you as a unique expression of the divine. So yes, we're stepping away from that entity, that energy that we pray to, or that we affirm, and really opening ourselves, our hearts, our minds, our spirits, our bodies to an expression of God that is us. On every single level of your being. Every single level of your being. And it makes sense for me that I would have this physical experience because I love doing yoga during my meditation. I feel the divine in physical movement. And that makes sense for me because I was not a physical person growing up. I was not an athlete. I was a bookworm. And I loved being on the couch with a book, curled up. And it wasn't until I was in college that I started to work out. And so it was pretty heady for me to get physically strong. To get physically strong. And so there was often when I was working out or trying something new, trying some new physical exercise or new something that was just different for me, and I thought, gee, I can't do this. And a part of me had to connect with the divine in order to execute what I was going to do. Because I thought, okay, my body's never done this. I'm kind of afraid of it. I think I'm probably going to fail. Didn't believe it, like Luke. And so at some point, I have to let go of my human physical ability and tap into my divinity. And I often talk myself through my workouts. Yes, I can do this. Yes, this is in my power. Sometimes I even invoke the 12 powers during my exercise because that's where I feel strongest. And that's where I feel masterful on all levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And that's where my experience of God happened. And so it makes sense to me as I'm in this, having another experience physically, that the divine became known, or I recognized it in myself in that moment. And none of this makes rational sense. But I think it's possible. In fact, I know it's possible because it's happening to me. And so I want you to get curious about your word, your energy, that principle that chose you, and it did choose you. And how is that going to unfold as you? As you. As God. God in you, God as you. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what my journey is going to look like. It may morph into something completely different next month, next week, tomorrow. I don't know. I know I'm willing and I've surrendered to it. And I trust that whatever comes for me is for me. That truly is for me in my evolution, my transformation, my expansion. My expansion. So remember, all of this work is not you finding something different that is outside of you. The seed is already within you. It always has been. So there was something way before time, way before you showed up here in physicality, that knew you would have this moment and that word would choose you. And that this would be your next chapter in your spiritual expansion. I believe that. Because now I can start to see the things that have brought me here, that have brought me to this moment where I'm laying like this and having an experience of God. And I think, yes, this is perfection. Perfection for me. And those kind of realizations do give me goosebumps all over. And I think, yes, there's this power at work that has me in mind. Divine mind with a capital D, capital M. Divine mind has me in mind. I am that mind. You are that mind. We are not all that God is, but all that God is, we are. We're a wave in the ocean. The wave is not the entire ocean, but everything that's in the ocean, everything that's in the sea is in the wave. So stay curious, open. The woo-woo might happen. The weird, the bizarre. The experience of God. And I think we already experience, we don't always recognize it as the divine. We may call it something else. Those moments that take our breath away. A sunset, a sunrise, a child's laugh, a loved one's hug, a moment of bitter sweetness when you're moved to tears. Listening to gorgeous music. And it makes you close your eyes and you just get lost in that sound, in that experience of the music all around you and through you, almost as if you are the instrument being played. Those are the moments I'm talking about. So it does require us to be open, to be curious, to stay open, even when it doesn't make rational sense and you think, oh, what's happening? This is weird. I don't want anybody to know. And I almost didn't share this experience because I thought, okay, I don't know if I want to say this out loud. And yet it's my journey. And yet it's my journey. So what are you willing to be open to? Are you going to walk this path like you've walked other things and kind of half walk it? Kind of open, but not really. Expecting something you've always expected? Or can you be truly, truly open and surrender fully to a process? And you're the process. You are the thing that is becoming. And you get to watch it. Your rational mind gets to watch it and take it in. And there may be judgments you'll make about what's happening. And I'm willing to suspend whatever my rational mind has to say, take it with a grain of salt, and move forward. And continue to move forward, continue to move forward. Continue to move forward. Open, receptive, surrendered, no expectations, no judgments, no fear, no doubt. No doubt. Because it's with belief that we succeed. That we succeed in being the masters we are called to be, that we are. That we are. That we truly, truly are. And so if you have to picture yourself as Yoda. With the bringing up that ship out of the water. Yeah. And what I also noticed he did is he peacefully set that ship down on the ground and had no reason to boast. He had no reason to fluff up his feathers and walk around and, oh, Luke, I did it, you didn't do it. It was matter-of-factly. This is what I do. This is who I am. Just believe. This is what I do. This is who I am. Just believe. So let's take this into meditation. So bring that word out again. That energy, that principle, that expression of you that chose you. Hold that word in your heart. And as you appraise that, you say in your heart of hearts, this is what I do, this is who I am. This is what I do, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is who I am. I am that which is calling me forth. I am that which is calling me forth. For this I was born. For this I was born. I am a unique expression of the divine. I am a unique expression of the divine. All power has been given unto me to shine and shine brilliantly. I am curious and open. I surrender fully to my divinity. I surrender fully to my divinity. I surrender fully. I surrender fully. I surrender fully. Let's take a deep breath and exhale Inhale again, relax into it, see that word, feel it, start to feel it in whatever way that becomes real for you. Exhale and relax into it. Curious and open, but joyous expectation about what's coming for you. And so we say yes and thank you. Yes, and thank you for this moment, for this journey, for the spiritual family that is gathered here to support me in this journey. Thank you for the expression, the word that chose me. That chose me. Just take a deep breath. One more time. Together, breathe in. Exhale. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.